traders and investors alike were green today. Well, today was another wild day in the market. Trends in both directions. For a day trader, that right there is a beautiful chart. There's a lot of opportunities there to make money. And you can see at open, we didn't have a whole lot of juice. We ended up pulling back to the 200. But when we got back above our fib level, it was straight vertical. We pulled back, got underneath the 9. Now, days like today, when we get these strong trends, and we have indicators that we're watching in the daytime, so we know when a trend is really strong, and we know we're actually constantly warning to be careful with the short plays, and this is why. I mean, there's room to make money there, but for me, the time I got below the 9, it just the pullback just wasn't working today, and we know that because of our indicators that we watch, and we call this stuff out in the trading room. But you can see, come back here and got right back above that 9. I actually traded that pop back above that 9. Then we come over, you start to see a wick there, red candle, you're getting signs. Got a big hefty down candle here. It's a little far down for me to try to get in because I'm so close to the VWAP there. I would probably just let it go. And you could have took a second candle and a ride down, but I would have probably just watched that trade. But coming back over here to this 9 like this, when this candle dropped down right there, that's go time right there. That candle right down there by those the bodies, this candle opened up, and of course you guys know I like to watch them pull back, and then catch the rip on the downside. That would have made a nice trade. Now today I didn't have my screen up at the time, but I called a W pattern, and I didn't want to or I should say I meant to talk about it when I did share the screen in the afternoon, and I actually forgot to point it out. So you can see right here, we come down, put in this, W pattern is basically a double bottom. So we put in a bottom, we come back down, we put in a bottom. I had mentioned about a different pattern as well, one on the video, I believe, that I didn't like as much because the pattern actually, the center, I don't like the center to come up and meet. I like the center to be a little lower. They seem like they work better, and that's just, my opinions on how I like to trade. But, coming up, so I actually traded this right here just because I seen this the W pattern and we closed over this VWAP. I got in right here and got another scalp out of that. Scalped this. I didn't scalp this to the downside, but I scalped this on the way back up and then scalped it again right there. So it's basically what I've been doing is just taking a lot of short scalps, but I took quite a few trades, done really well. I did take a total of 41 today is what I took. I told you guys I would count that up. So let's look at RIVN. We got some news on that. Come across the squawk. I'm not even sure what they said, and it was getting some call flow. So, this was on our radar. This thing ripped right at open. Big pullback here and then ripped again. But it was definitely tradable. But for me, it's a little choppy there. I would have probably moved on and went looking for something else after that big pullback there. But I also traded AMD and NVDA. So I traded AMD, NVDA, and SPY today, and I traded them quite a bit. You can see, and we've talked about, I've been on the short side of AMD, and especially AMD, been riding it all the way down. Haven't traded it a whole lot, but I've definitely had it on the watch list and talk about it all the time. But seeing the character change, the semis were more beat down, with the bill coming in, just a lot of stuff going on. We knew that they were going to push. We even talked about a W pattern. I just want to point this out. This is the level that's called all the time. Come back, retest to that level, retest the VWAP. These are, if you're struggling trying to build a strategy, these are signs you can look for. Maybe waiting for the pullbacks to a level, watching, stocks that are close to these levels. Maybe that'll work for you. You don't have to trade like me. There's so many different strategies to make money in this market. It's all more about the mindset. 80% of our trades come from the mindset. So we got in a video here, and this tried to put in a W pattern here, but it just wasn't, the symmetry wasn't that good on it. but you did get a decent, so when you got above your 20 here, you know, then took out your 50, you got a decent push up here. Did pull back, so you would have to have been ready to take profits, but that could have been a trade. You know, a bounce off this VWAP, flagging back in. Matter of fact, I think I traded that. I traded AMD or NVDA. I traded one of these two on this bounce off this VWAP back into the flag. But you can see here, you know, you put in a top coming back up. If it doesn't take that out, you know, so when you get to levels like that, that's when you're paying attention. Be like, all right, so I got this level here. I'm going to have to push through it with some momentum, or I'm going to end up snatching back. And normally it's with some momentum. But either way, even if it's not with momentum and it happens to chop back, you know, these are areas where you look to take trades at. If you're struggling and you're looking for a style, there's so many ways to make money in this market. Of course, if you're doing good at something, you know, continue what you're doing. A square, I don't know if I showed this one or not. Yeah, so square made a big push it open. That's what actually caught my eye on it. Some put flow or call flow started pouring in on it, and I checked the chart real quick and noticed it had all this volume. And you can see it just put this top in here, and you know, of course, if it can't take that top out, it's going to end up pulling back. But it pulled back to pre-market levels and pushed, but it had a nice push on it as well. Then we had Netflix. You know, we were watching Netflix. I actually said in pre-market that we had seen, we watched, listened to some stuff in the mornings, and one of them traders said that, you know, it was a guaranteed push today, and I said I thought it looked like a flush first. That's just what I figured, and it was dipping it in pre-market. But we did get a pullback on that. Didn't trade it myself. I'm not sure if any traders did, if anybody in the room did get a hold of it or not. But it made a nice push after, you know, come back to the pre-market levels. It didn't set no records or nothing. Well, that flush there would have made a nice trade if you want to jump in that first 5 minutes. But yeah, that's not for me. I'll scalp something sometimes. But normally in that time, I'm so busy getting information to the Discord, I'm not worried about taking any trade yet. So we get ROKU here, had a big push, better than you know, Netflix. And I actually said, you know, watch ROKU. A lot of times ROKU trades better than Netflix on the news. Like they'll find a reason to sell Netflix, and ROKU always seems to run. So we got a nice push here, pull right back to that VWAP. That VWAP held, give you another push on, you know, push. But once again, not getting these great big pullbacks, and we're able to call that. Look, there's another W pattern right there around the VWAP area. You know, we're able to call our sentiment indicators, so we have an idea of what's going on in the market, so we know when the, you know, it's strong, that if we do take these short plays, to make sure you're locking in profits in. That would have made a nice one though, because it pulled back, opened up right below your 9 and 20, and flagged. That's a nice flag. Flagged right into your 9. You know, as soon as it broke below that candle body, I'd have been looking to get in. So for me, you could obviously, you can get in up here too. Don't get me wrong. I just prefer to break below. I try to. My trades are set up. I know when you hear about scalping, you think how dangerous it is. Well, my trades are actually set up with a higher probability for, you know, being patient and making sure everything to the checklist is on there. And of course, I'm not perfect. So I hope everybody has a good night, and I hope to see you in the trading room. We are going to get that other video out. We're going to redo that, waiting on some sentiment charts to finish setting up so we can go over everything. But there is some really good stuff, charts to show, and some of the sentiment charts to go over. Things are looking really good. As long as the earnings don't screw us up, you know, we're looking really bullish here. Have a good night. See you in the trading room.